Do you know what a countertenor is? Have you ever heard of that? It's a very, very specific voice type with a very interesting history. Yes! I love him so much. Full voice, again connected, but much more breath flowing.
Don't want a mic stand just hanging around.
Keep me where the light is.
Yeah. What's up, guys? Welcome to the channel, especially if this is your first time. I'm so glad you clicked. And please consider subscribing if you find the content valuable. I would really appreciate that. So, JAKUB JÓSEF Orliński, that's my best Polish, is a Polish born 1990 in December, so he's almost 35. He's a Polish operatic countertenor, and a break dancer, which is very interesting. I don't think it's very often that operatic vocalists are also break dancers. So, very interesting guy. He has performed leading roles with many opera companies, including the Metropolitan Opera in New York, the Royal Opera House in London, Warsaw Grand Theatre, his home country, and Oper Frankfurt in Germany. So, won many prizes, including the Gramophone Classical Music Award in 2019. Gramophone is a huge label for classical music, broad term. The International Opera Award in 2021 and International Classical Music Award in 2022. So he's done some beautiful and very significant things in his fairly young career. You know, opera singers traditionally, they used to say that a female opera singer peaks vocally and artistically in their late 40s, and a male opera singer 55 to 60. And these are people who've been doing this in a very dedicated way, usually since teenage years. So it's an incredible path to take on if you want to be an opera singer. But anyway, today we're going to listen to JAKUB singing one of the most famous Italian art songs from the Renaissance, the 1700s. It's called Amarilli, mia bella. And because it's Italian, I'm going to tell you what it means so that when you hear him sing, you can connect with the emotion of the song, right? So it is translated as, "My lovely Amarillis, don't you know, O my heart's sweet desire, that it is you whom I love? Believe in my love. And if fear besets you, don't doubt that it's true," the love. "Open my breast and see written on my heart, Amarillis, Amarillis, Amarillis is my love." So it's a really beautiful love song from the 1700s by Caccini. So let's listen to this countertenor. If you've never heard a countertenor, I think you're going to enjoy. Well, I think you're going to be surprised at first, and then I think you're going to enjoy it. And whichever way you look at it, we've got to have respect for what these singers can do. So let's check it out. Before he sings, don't you enjoy that sound? It is a lute, which was a predecessor to like other small string instruments. Very typical instrument, typical sound from the Renaissance. Very beautiful. And the lute players were very skilled. They could, I say lute, what is the other name? I'll find out. I'll tell you in a minute. They could play very freely. So the music of that time, the vocal music especially, was written to be sung and performed, played very freely. In other words, the tempo isn't the strict 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. This gave the singer the space to be very creative, to add ornamentation, little trills and things, which was very stylistically, was a very strong stylistic characteristic of the vocal music, especially. It gave them a lot of freedom to express however they will. Even if they practice it one way and in performance they change their mind, the accompanist on the stringed instrument would wait before they go to the next bar or whatever. So very beautiful. Ornamentations. Beautiful. I think there are two stringed instruments. It sounds like two because the sound is very full and there are chords that can't be that full on one because it's a 4-stringed instrument. But can you hear that? He sings in, a female range. And this is because in the Middle Ages, only men were allowed in church and only men were allowed to sing and to make music, not the women. So they developed a very, very terrible, inhumane practice during that time, Middle Ages and into the early Renaissance, where men or boys who could sing beautifully were castrated when they went into puberty, so that their voice wouldn't change and they would still have the ability to sing so high, and the timbre, the tone color of their voice wouldn't change too much. And then we had they had superstar male sopranos and male altos who sang all the leading roles in all the vocal music. So it was very, very interesting. Luckily these days, men don't have to go through that. They can choose to develop that style of singing if they want. But it's very difficult. I mean, if you close your eyes and you didn't know, you would think it is a female singer. Yet, it has to be said that countertenors, when they sing in that female range, there is something in the tone color which makes you notice, this initial thought maybe female voice, but no, this is a male voice. There's something in the tone color. Because remember, he doesn't speak like that. His voice when he speaks is very much like mine. It's a baritone voice. Normally, really good countertenors have quite a bit darker voice like me. So it's incredibly skillful, and there aren't that many countertenors in the world who can sing this music in such a specialized way and so accurately and so beautifully. So, yeah. So this is an E minor. So when it goes lower like this, whatever the melody was, that B4, the B just under middle C, the lower it gets for a countertenor, the harder it is to control it. Because if you get that low, your voice wants to flip into like a fuller male voice. So singing really low in a female range, if that makes sense, it's really tricky for a countertenor. But oh man, his control is exceptional, and the energy in his sound, whether it's soft or louder, whether it's lower or higher, is so beautifully consistent. You can hear every word he says, which means his consonants are energized with breath as well. And in my experience, I'm a great lover of Renaissance music, and I used to sing in a small ensemble that specialized in even late medieval and Renaissance music, so I have a great passion for it. His style, the way that he's doing it, is very authentic. He could just as well have been one of those male singers during that period, because yeah, it's so good. Yeah, so good. That last phrase goes to that C5 so easily, so comfortably. All the sounds so under his control. And that last phrase, to sing in that range, such a long phrase, with such control, ending so softly. It's much harder from a technical point of view to sing strong or loud and then go softer on a long note than to start soft and go louder. There's something about the process of increasing volume, which is called crescendo in Italian, in music terminology. So gradually getting louder. To do a crescendo is much more natural. To just increase the airflow. But to go to decrease the airflow and do a decrescendo is much harder. And he does that so well in that range. Excellent. Now I'm so happy this popped up on my YouTube feed, because I've actually been wanting to talk about countertenors for a long time. It's a very niche thing, right? I mean, maybe you clicked because you're a fan of JAKUB and you're a fan of countertenors and this style of music, but maybe you're just interested to learn something new. I hope so. But there's a very small audience for it, unfortunately, because it is such an exceptional skill, and it is uniquely beautiful when a good countertenor sings stylistically correct like this music from that time period. So beautiful. Anyway, hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something new. If you know something more about JAKUB because you're a fan and you've been following his career, whatever, leave a comment. It'll not only benefit me, but everybody else who checks out the comments, and I would really appreciate it. And until next time, I want you to remember that your voice matters.